Welcome along then to this third GT Sport Championship for iVision. We're going to be racing the BMW M4 Gr4 351 brake horsepower, 1283 kilos and racing soft tyres. It's a beast. Little TG took them round on a parade lap here at the very fast sweeping St Croix B circuit, and everyone was wondering, is it going to be 3 championships in a row then for this man in the white team Talking to Minds car, Buzzin, otherwise known as Gunter? Is he going to make it 3 championships in a row? Well, race 1 got underway. Callan, the 17-year-old, took a very early lead, but this little error cost him dearly, as the very fast German Clemens was very close behind, almost making the same mistake, but he managed to pass Callan to take first position. He was still holding second then, Callan, but Buzzin was coming like a steam train and managed to pass him with more momentum on the next 2 corners. And it was going to be the German Clemens who took the first victory then, as the independent driver Buzzin took a very good second from the back of the grid for Team Talking to Minds, and his teammate Dazzman just held off Callan to take 3rd position. Great result for Team Talking to Minds then, 2nd and 3rd. So it was race 2, our grid on pole, SmokeyTanker from Team Adverse Camber. His wife, the lady driver PurpleCrazy, in 2nd. In 3rd place, the Australian Mikkus from Teams Kickin Asphalt. And then in the Tim Parrott livery, it's Smokin Aces, the independent driver. Next up, it's the 17-year-old Callan, teammate to Mikkus. Then it's the first of the Talking to Minds drivers. That's Dazzman, 2nd in last season's championship. The 2-time champion Buzzin is in 7th. And the winner of the previous race, the very fast German Clemens, on the back. Competitors not entered: Anno, AshVinny, PhD and Treen. So they're about to get underway then. 11 laps with a mandatory stop. They're away. PurpleCrazy has got a good start there as they head into the first corner. They get a little bit bunched up, and Callan looks like he's going up the inside of his teammate here. And oh, that is disastrous. PurpleCrazy into the barrier. Bad luck for the female driver there. Let's take a look and see what happened. We can see Callan, we're riding on board with Callan. Dazzman gets a false start. Mikkus has got a great start over SmokeyTanker. He's up the inside, but Callan is trying to get up the inside of his teammate here, and I think he outbrakes himself and gives a nudge to Mikkus. That sends Mikkus spiraling into PurpleCrazy, and she's into the barrier. So it is Callan who's out in front there. Buzzin is trying to get up the inside of him here. He's come through from 7th place there, and he's up into 1st, I think, as he made it there. He's just trying to get on the outside of him. Indeed, we can see from race control, Callan is under investigation for causing a collision there. Now they're into the very difficult left, right, and the difficult camber of the bridge section. Buzzin trying to get up the inside here. We're on board with Buzzin then. He's pushing Callan here to try and get that position, but Clemens is also looming with Dazzman as well. Can see him in the rear view mirror of Buzzin there, and they're 2 abreast. I think Clemens is going to try and take Buzzin on the left-hander here, locks it up, thinks better of it, and it's Callan who strikes the barrier. Buzzin's going to take the lead here. Dazzman follows suit. It's Talking to Minds 1-2, and race control car number 7. He's got a warning issued. That's the red livery. There he is. He's got a warning issued for that move on his teammate then. Yes, it was a little bit of a rash move there. He tried to tell these youngsters that the race is not won on the first corner. You have to exercise patience like I did when I was motor racing. Yeah, we're only a couple of minutes in and the view started already. Oh, and there's a bit of a pile-up at the end of the back straight then. Buzzin and Dazzman in the gravel. I think that might have been Smokin Aces caused that problem, because he slowed down and let the 2 Talking to Mind drivers go through. Here we are on board then, the replay with Smokin Aces. You can see he's getting a good draft off these 3, and oh, outbreaks himself, hits Dazzman, he hits Clemens, Clemens hits Buzzin. The two Talking to Mines drivers are in the gravel. They're going to be furious about that one.
Wow, that was just plain stupid. I mean, he's in the draft. He needs to get on the brakes early there. He had no chance of going through, and that's just plain stupid.
Indeed, Smokin Aces then has a warning issued for that move as Mikkus strikes the barrier as he's going through. Meanwhile, Buzzin has got, I believe, PurpleCrazy just up behind him there. Dazzman follows, then it's Smokin Aces. These four have lost touch with the front four then by quite some margin as we see Callan. He's got quite a lead over the following three drivers. It's PurpleCrazy, then it's Mikkus. No, I believe 55 is SmokeyTanker, I beg your pardon. In second place, SmokeyTanker. 55 is Clemens, goes around the outside, they touch. Oh, and there's a bit of jostling between the two of them there. It is SmokeyTanker in second place in the Team Adverse Camber purple liveried BM then as Clemens tries to take the faster line into the difficult Cambers here. Is he going to try and sneak up the inside of SmokeyTanker? No. Drops back. Oh, and Smokey's gone wide. He's in the barrier. He's in the barrier. Oh my goodness me. And he's going to have to sort that out here. It's making a little bit of an Austin Powers kind of a 19-point turn there. Bad luck, he was running in second.
Well, that particular corner, you need to set yourself up for it. It's one of the most difficult on this circuit. And the M4 just got away from him there, unfortunately.
Indeed, as we look at Clemens then, he's chasing Callan and back to Buzzin. Buzzin's trying to make up some ground. I can tell you, he is fastest man on track at this moment. He's really putting in some blistering times. We go on board with him then, the team Talking to Mines driver down the back straight, flat out, 150 miles an hour, and then it's hard on the brakes. Set yourself up to hit that apex and use all of the road then. He is making up time on Mikkus ahead, and if we just check at the checkpoint here, he is at least a second a lap quicker. Also, Dazzman is also on a good run then as we see Callan into the final turn to head onto the main straight. We're going to get a time check on these two front drivers as Mikkus goes through in third. Buzzin, you can see, is really catching Mikkus at an extreme rate of knots here. Callan lapping in about the 2:18s. Similarly, 2:18 for Clemens, but Buzzin is in the 2:17.1s. He's nearly a second a lap quicker then. Is he going to make up the ground before we see any pit stops? As we look back, the Tim Parrott livery of Smokin Aces, who I believe is running in 6th place there. Yep, 6th. Just behind is PurpleCrazy. At the back of the field, it is SmokeyTanker.
Well, in the last race, the first race, I know Buzzin and Dazzman were complaining about their tyres. They just didn't seem to get up to temperature, but definitely this set that Buzzin has on for this race are really on fire then, because he is so much quicker. Indeed, we just checked the last checkpoint and he's just over a second per lap quicker than everybody else.
Yeah, he's a man on a mission as he's really closing in on the back of Mikkus now. Mikkus just locks up slightly. Ooh, almost strikes the barrier there, and I'm sure that Buzzin now is going to, yeah, he's taking the slightly wider line. Is he going to get in the tow? Oh, I think he's already carrying enough speed, and it's going to be a straight drag between Buzzin and the Australian driver Mikkus down this back straight. You can see Clemens ahead. He's already starting to catch him. Buzzin up the inside then. He's got the quicker line down towards this very sharp right-hander at the end of the straight. You can see Dazzman in the background as well then. Mikkus just locking up, and Buzzin making the use of the width of the road then as we go back to number 7, Callan, the 17-year-old. He's still lapping in a fairly good time, but around the 2:18.4 mark. Buzzin is lapping 2:17 flat then. Clemens also It looks as though he's closing up on the back of the 17-year-old. They've both got a really good line, clean exit out of there. Again, Callan lapping in the 218s, Clemens in the 217.9 region, and Buzzin again puts in a 217.1 then. He's really got the bit between his teeth and a nice line through there. He really carries some speed through. Also, Dazzman is putting in some good times, 217.4 on the last lap. These two Talking to Mine drivers then, they are up in the favourites for this championship, I've got to say, and we should see them making some progress. But at the moment, it's Callan in first place. He's closely followed by Clemens, the independent driver from Germany, then as they head onto the bridge section. We're expecting them to come in around about lap 5, lap 6. I don't know what happened there. There's a lapse of concentration from Callan as he struck the barrier on the straight there. That is quite an uncharacteristic thing to do then. Into the left-hander, bit of traction loss from Callan there as Clemens starts to close up on him. I'm sure he's going to try, and again striking the barrier. He needs to get this thing under control because Clemens is going to pounce as soon as he gets that toe, and I think he might be just getting the toe off him now down this back straight then. Let's see, we're on board with Callan. We can see Clemens in the background. I think he is getting the benefit of the toe then. Is he going to try and make a move? Is he close enough as they head into this very, very tight right-hander?
Well, I've got to say that, you know, just little kisses on the barrier are going to cost you between a tenth or maybe 3 or 4 tenths, and that's why you can see that Clemens now has pulled right up on the back of the 17-year-old, and I think he might try and make a move here.
Indeed, he's carrying a little bit more speed, and you can hear he just lifts there, doesn't need to keep the throttle down because he's getting the benefit of the toe. Is he going to try something up the inside into turn 1 then? And Callan is weaving a little bit. He wants to be careful. The stewards will be watching that one very closely. He's already on a warning as Clemens gets a better line through there, and he's going to get the benefit of the toes. We see Buzzin in the background as well. He's making good ground on them, and there in 5th place is Smokin Aces. He's putting in very, very consistent lap times. They're not the quickest, but it's keeping him ahead of PurpleCrazy behind as we see Dazzman head into the tight left-hander then onto the hill before the bridge section as Clemens is right on the back bumper of the 17-year-old. He goes up the inside and there's a little touch between them. Now that is going to have cost them time, which is going to be good news for Buzzin. Now we might see Callan getting up the inside here. Now the problem is with these two fighting, that's going to mean that Buzzin, if he's still putting in those quick laps, he's going to close up on them. Indeed he is closing up on them like a steam train. All this fighting between them, it's slowing them down. That's good news for Buzzin. You can see visibly he's really, really catching these two now.
Absolutely. Now you need to use your brain when you're chasing someone. You need to pick them off and not be too keen to make a pass, because like you say, you can see now that Buzzin is catching these two like a bullet, and I'm sure he's going to be back onto the back of them very, very soon.
Indeed, Stewie then, as we see Callan take the right-hander. Oh, and there's a bit of a confrontation between the two. I'm not sure who is to blame for that, but you can see now Buzzin is right on Clemens. He's got the inside for this one, but he's going to be on the outside for the next one. I don't think he's going to make that one stick, but he's round the outside. Oh my goodness me, he's taken him. He's taken Clemens and he moves up to 2nd place. Now that was a great move. Now whether Clemens' tyres are going off after following it, indeed, he goes to the pit. Clemens goes to the pit. All that fighting with the youngster in 1st place means Clemens has done his tyres and he's into the pits for a new set of tyres then.
And that looks like a great pit stop to me. Oh my goodness me, the youngster's gone out of control and he's spun, nearly collecting Buzzin at the same time.
That was nearly disaster for the two of them. I think Dazzman's going to get by as well. Let's take a look at it. Buzzin gets a beautiful line through turn one, and the youngster goes onto the grass. Buzzin has to make up his mind which way he's going, otherwise he's going to be collected. So Buzzin moves into first. I think Dazzman, yeah indeed, Dazzman moves up to second. So it's team Talking to Minds in positions 1 and 2. The 17-year-old Callan has recovered to take third position then. I think Clemens is really on a good outlap at the moment, and indeed, you can see he is not that far behind the youngster in first place. We can see Smokin is getting caught by PurpleCrazy, and Mikkus is starting to close on her as well then. They're all putting in some relatively steady, consistent times, which is the secret to motor racing. It's not necessarily the fastest man on circuit, it's whether you can put in those consistent times, as Mikkus seems to be closing up on the boot lid of the lady driver there. Anyway, we're onto the back straight. Buzzin, foot to the board. He needs a good in-lap if he's going to come in for tyres now.
But I can tell you that he made a slight error, and I think he's dropped about 4 or 5 tenths, and that could mean all the difference if Clemens has put in a good outlap.
Indeed, Clemens is on a very, very quick outlap. That could make all the difference. He was just behind Buzzin when he went into the pits, but if he's put in a good outlap, he could jump him in the pits. Is Buzzin going to come in this lap then? He heads into the final turn. Let's take a look. Is he going to head for the pits this lap? Indeed, he does then. He's into the pits. It's all going to be in the timings. Is Dazzman going to follow suit? Both Talking to Minds drivers head for the pits, and Callan heads for the pits then. Here comes Clemens. This is going to be a race for turn 1. He's over the start-finish line, and there's Buzzin. Buzzin's just coming out of the pits. He's not carrying quite enough speed, and Clemens is through to take the lead. Oh, that is disappointing for Buzzin. He made that little error on the previous lap, and Clemens has made up 4 or 5 tenths there. So Buzzin is gonna have to get his foot down and get those tyres warm very, very quickly if Clemens is not gonna streak away from him then. Dazzman leaves the pits ahead of third place Callan then. We're on board with Dazzman. Can't quite see Buzzin ahead. Dazzman might have had a slightly slower pit stop there, I'm not quite sure. But nevertheless, he retains third place for the Talking to Minds teams as he heads down into the difficult entry for the bridge section. Smokin Aces, he's still holding on to 5th and has seemed to have put a little bit of distance between himself and the Australian driver Mikkus. There's PurpleCrazy. I believe she's still ahead of her husband SmokeyTanker. SmokeyTanker, where is he? He's just come out of the pits actually. Still going, still putting in steady laps. Remember, half of motor racing is consistency. So, and in fact, he's going to be scoring points today over those drivers who did not enter then. From Team IRN BRU and also Team Monster Munch, 4 drivers missing from today's race. They won't pick up any points. SmokeyTanker will. So as long as he keeps going round and finishes this race, he's going to be scoring championship points.
Indeed, half of motorsport is turning up, because if they don't turn up, then you're not there.
Wow, infinite words of wisdom there from Stewie Jackart. Thanks for that one. As we're on board with Buzzin then, he's chasing Clemens. That gap still seems to be the same as when he left the pits, so at least Clemens hasn't got away from him then. He's got a great line out of that corner, and he's going to be looking to try and get, I think he's just close enough to get it. Indeed, he is close enough to get a toe. That's why Clemens is moving over. He doesn't want Buzzin to get the benefit of it then, and Dazzman seems to be making some ground. No, Dazzman has lost ground somewhere on the last lap, and the 17-year-old Callan has got by him then. So Dazzman needs to get his foot down and retain that third position, as Buzzin is definitely closer now. He's starting to put pressure on the German driver ahead then. So it's down to the entry to the bridge section. Clemens is ahead of Buzzin. Buzzin seems to have lost a little bit there as Clemens enters the bridge section then, but Buzzin's got a really fast line through there. He got great drive off that last turn. I'm sure he's going to close up the gap here indeed as he gets the toe down towards the end of the straight then. He's starting to put Clemens under pressure. Is Clemens going to lock up here? He did. Slight lock up there from Clemens. Loses a bit of traction. Buzzin got the better exit. He's going to be on the back of him and get the benefit of the toe here.
But the last thing that Buzzin needs to do is to get the toe too early, because then Clemens will be able to drop in behind him and get the toe back for the entry to the very tight right-hander.
Indeed, we just saw Buzzin drop out of the toe and then back into it. He's in the turn now. Now, he normally goes up the inside, throws Clemens a little bit of a dummy to say, I'm here, goes up the outside and then dives back to the inside. Is he going to make this stick up the inside? Clemens just holds on to it there, but Buzzin got a great exit from that one. He's in the toe again. He's putting him under pressure, and again, ooh, Dazzman nearly gets up the outside of Callan there. Didn't quite make that one stick, but he's putting the youngster under pressure, and that's what we need to see from the second of the Talking to Minds driver. Great battle for third and fourth then in this second race of the BM4 Group 4 Championship for iVision then. They head down towards the last turn as we go back to the front. Buzzin's getting a great toe here from Clemens. He's going to try and slip up the inside. No, he moves to the outside, breaks a little bit early, and I think he's going to get the benefit of a better line here. He's carrying more speed. He's going to get extra 3 or 4 miles an hour up this hill, and he's up the inside. Here's the inside. He's got the inside. Is he going to be able to take in? Clemens has got the inside for this one. Buzzin's late on the brakes. That is a great move.
Indeed, and not unlike the move that I used to pull when I was motor racing.
Every time someone makes a good overtaking maneuver, it's just like one of yours, apparently. Anyway, Buzzin. Ooh, Clemens is trying to get back, tries to go up the inside there. Buzzin having none of it. He wants this win. He wants to win a third championship. As we see Dazzman trying to go up the inside. Oh, and he's fully committed there. Absolutely full broadside onto the entry to the bridge. Dazzman wants that third place. He was bitterly disappointed to come second in the previous championship, and he really wants that third place from Callan. And Callan into the barrier, Dazzman through. That is the mistake he was looking for. He's putting the youngster under pressure, and he's through and into third place then. Dazzman will be pleased with that one, and he's got his foot to the board to try and make sure that the youngster doesn't get the toe back. And here is Clemens really putting Buzzin under pressure here as they head down towards this really tight left-hander. Buzzin making full use of the road, puts his car in the middle of the track, and he has got better drive off this bend, I'm sure. Indeed, he takes the inside line. Clemens has the door closed on him then, but you can see they're separated by about a cigarette paper there as they head down into turn 11 then. Buzzin makes full use of the road, nothing illegal about that one. He's not blocking, he's taking his racing line, and Clemens is trying everything. You can see how close he is in the rear view side mirror there. Buzzin, another quick lap. These two are lapping in the 2:16s now. They are really on fire, and Buzzin does not want to give up that first position as Dazzman again tries to take Callan. No, Callan's up the inside. He's got the quick alignment. Dazzman might take him up the hill here. This is fantastic stuff. We've got a battle for first and second, and we've got a right ding-dong for third and fourth. Dazzman in front at this present moment. This is absolutely thrilling stuff. If we take a look back at Smokin Aces, he's still putting in those consistent laps to stay ahead of Mikkus as we take a look back at PurpleCrazy. She's holding on to 7th and a long way ahead of hubby SmokeyTanker. Onto the bridge then. Buzzin still under pressure from the German driver Clemens, and again, look how close they are. Is he gonna brake early enough? He does. Clemens trying every trick in the book at the moment, but it looks like Buzzin has written that book because he is still ahead of Clemens. But we're going to be heading down this very fast back straight now, and Clemens is surely going to get the benefit of the tow as the race director goes to 3rd and 4th place. Callan ahead of Dazzman now. They are chopping and changing like nobody's business. As I said, it's a right ding-dong, as now Dazzman has to get in the tow of Callan to try and retain 3rd. Buzzin in the middle of the road. He's really pulling out all the tricks up his sleeve as well to keep this very quick German driver Clemens behind him. Clemens might get up the inside here. It looks as though he's going to make the same pass that Buzzin made on him, but Buzzin, I think, just probably a little tweak on the throttle there just to hold that inside line, and that gives him quite a lot of breathing space over the chasing driver, as we see that Callan has put a little bit of a gap between himself and Dazzman. Dazzman's going to be bitterly disappointed if he can't retain this 3rd position. He got 3rd over Callan in a previous race, remember.
And this really is fantastic racing from these 4 drivers. The battle for 1st between Buzzin and Clemens, and the battle for 3rd between Callan and Dazzman. It's really exciting stuff.
Couldn't agree more, but they're on the last lap now. Buzzin just 1 lap to keep the German driver behind him. He's got good drive out of the top of the hill then as they head down towards the flat out right and left into the bridge section. It looks so Clemens is trying to come back at him again here. Is he going to try and move up the inside? Don't think he's quite close enough. Might try something late on the brakes. We didn't get to see it, unfortunately, as Callan still ahead of Dazzman. He's got quite a healthy gap as Dazzman gets a bit of a speed wobble on into the left-hander, into the right-hander to the bridge section. Quite a difficult Camber, and he nearly overcooks it there.
That was very nearly curtains for the young driver there, but he just managed to hold on to it. Fair play.
Dazzman then still chasing this Teams Kickin Asphalt driver ahead of him as Buzzin gets a really good drive out of the turn towards the back straight, and I think he's got enough gap here for Clemens not to get the tow. He might just be getting it here, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move. If he does, it's going to have to be do or die late on the brakes. Buzzin to the middle of the road there. Now he moves now he moves to the other side. Just ekes out the space to force Clemens wide, and he does go wide, and I think that's it.
Buzzin quite rightly and fairly using all of the road there. You can see that he's now got a gap over Clemens in these last few turns.
Well, I don't know about you, Stewie, but I've got a throat like red rum at the moment. It's really hoarse from all the excitement as we see Buzzin. He's got 1 corner to make. Look at the gap he's got over Clemens now. This is going to be it. This is going to be a great victory for Buzzin here. He came 2nd in the first race. He's going to take victory in the 2nd race. Lights ablaze for the Team Talking to Minds driver then over the line to take 1st. Clemens, he drove absolutely brilliantly to try and take that away from Buzzin. Couldn't quite manage it as we see the 17-year-old Callan take 3rd place. Dazzman finishes in a very respectable 4th. Great race between the two of them also. So we see Smokin aces. He was consistent all the way through apart from that incident on lap 1, and he does a bit of a victory handbrake there. Exciting stuff. Join us again for round 2, which is going to be Maggie All Circuit for the iVision GT Sport Championship.